What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Maverick Man 101. Got a video here today from Modern Woman Archives. Let's just jump right to it.
You ever meet somebody and wonder why they're single? Cut to a week later, you find out why they're single. Rinse and repeat. That's basically dating in your 40s. We all single for a reason, guys.
She's making a confession about herself, that if you see a woman who is over 40 and she's single, there's always a logical reason for it. She could be crazy, have a bad personality, or whatever the case may be. But there's always a logical reason for why these women are single.
They're crazy!
If you're in your late 30s or early 40s and recently single and thought that no one would ever want you, I've got great news for you. Do you know what the divorce rate is nowadays? About 40 to 50%, which means a lot of wealthy, successful men in their 40s and 50s are getting divorced and looking for a second wife. Here's the thing though, do not listen to broke men saying that wealthy men are only going to go for 25-year-old hot models. Jeff Bezos, richest man on earth, he just got engaged, and his fiancée is in her mid-50s. Bill Gates, who's 67, his girlfriend, Paula, is 60. My point is, girlfriend, if you're a mature single woman, you are hot on the market. The only thing you have to do though is to make sure that you're in your best shape. Because successful, wealthy men love a woman in incredible shape. The good news is, anyone can get in shape if they eat well and work out. So the power is in your hand, girlfriend. If you get in shape and take care of your skin, I promise you there will be no shortage of high quality wealthy men chasing after you. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
You know, shout out to this Asian woman. I mean, I guess she's right. To at least try to deliver delusions to older women, right? So let's go through this because I think this was the video that she posted was a little bit ago, right? So again, well, first let me start here. Ma'am, you should be taking care of your body and your skin and your health regardless, right? No matter what age you are, that's what you should be doing, right? Whether she's in her 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, right? Taking care of herself, her skin, making sure that she looks good. She's taking care of her body. She's going to the gym, taking walks, whatever it may be, right? Secondly, this woman is confusing getting a man and keeping a man, right? She's confusing the two because last time I checked, and this is February of 2025, right? I don't think Jeff Bezos married that woman. I think they are still engaged. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, guys, let me know in the comments. And I think Bill Gates, I think they're still just boyfriend, girlfriend, right? So again, yeah, they got the man. They ain't keeping him. They're not married to them. They aren't Mrs. Bezos. They aren't Mrs. Gates, right? The new Mrs. Gates, the new Mrs. Bezos, right? That's not who they are. So again, right, this delusion of the older woman having higher value. Now, yeah, sure, you still have value, right? Men will still date you. They'll still have fun with you. But for a man who wants to have kids, wants to have a long-term relationship with a woman, ma'am, you're on the lower part of the totem pole, okay? And again, there's a lot of social proof in that, which I think is part of the reason why some of those older men get with older women, right? There's a bit of social proof in that, social acceptance. Now, if you look at somebody like my buddy from the Patriots, Bill Belichick, he don't give a damn. He just out there like whatever she like in her 20s, and he don't care. So shout out to Bill Belichick, right? I saw something on Instagram the other day, and somebody was like, well, what could they even talk about? She don't need to talk. Her beauty and her youth speaks volumes. That's it. She don't need to talk. I hate when simp men say that. Like, oh, well, what are they going to talk about? What are they going to say? Like, your wife is talking to you about the greatest German philosophers. Shut up. Like, stop it. Like, I hate that conversation when men, well, what are they going to talk about? What are they going to say? It's nonsense, man.
Now share this video to a girlfriend that you care about and follow me for more dating advice.
There's a very low number of rich, successful men and a high percentage of 304 women who have hit the wall.
That too.
Telling these women that they will bag a millionaire after they hit the wall is giving them false hopes, and they will end up crying on TikTok because
Right.
they cannot find a man.
It's inevitable.
Can somebody help me out, please? I am new to dating, and the last time I was single was before smartphones existed. So Tinder and Hinge feels like a whole new world to me, right? So here's what I need to know. When you match with somebody, whose job is it to speak first? Is it the person who did the initial matching, or the person who was like the second person to make the match? Because I don't know. Or does no one ever talk? Like what is it? Someone tell me.
This pretty much sums up her dating experiences. She matches with Chads,
Right.
and they don't say anything to her.
Right.
I didn't want to.
All right, all of my fellow 40-something-year-olds who hate dating as much as I do. I have not been on a dating app in several months. And so I decided Friday night that I would get on one. And
Nice.
I matched with this guy.
Perfect.
And we start chatting away.
Good.
Continued into Saturday
Yep.
and Sunday. And
Okay.
we made plans for Wednesday night.
Great.
And then the more we talked, we were kind of like, we were kind of hitting it off. We're like, let's do Tuesday night too. Then comes Monday, and he's like, hey, do you think you can slip away and meet me for coffee? And so I do. The date was about 5 hours long, and it was great. Went well. Very attractive man, great job, just all around seems like a great catch, right? So that night, it was great. Sent me a text afterwards, had a good time, all the things. Then Wednesday night, we go to dinner, and he picks out the place. I meet him at his house. We ride together to the restaurant. And as we're sitting there, kind of, halfway through dinner, he decides to tell me, he's like, you check a lot of my boxes. I'm really into you. I've told all my sisters about you. I say all mine, his two sisters. They've seen pictures of you and this and that. And I'm like, whoa. Slow your roll, bro. And so dinner still is fine. Great. We move on. I go back home. He sends me a bunch more text, kind of just, again, I'm really into you. I really go after what I want. But it's at this point, it's just becoming too much. And I tend to pump the brakes and actually back up on the first night of our date. I just said, I really just don't get excited. I've been in this dating game longer than you. He's been divorced 2 years. I've been divorced for 14. So yeah, I've been in this fucking single dating game for a hell of a lot longer. And he proceeded to also tell me he's gone on 40 dates in 2 years. And I'm like, holy fuck, that is more dates than I've gone on in my life.
Let me just pause it real quick. There's a lot going on, and I'm almost certain this woman is leaving out some stuff. Let's start here. So she meets this guy who is apparently a divorced Chad, potentially, right? This guy has been divorced for a couple years. He's back out on the dating market, and he's looking at his options, right? Which I'm sure at 40, or I'm assuming this guy's over 40, he probably has a little bit more. If he is this Chad, right? Or even Chad Light, whatever you want to call him, he probably has a lot more options than this woman has for at least long-term relationships, right? So I think that's one. The other thing, this woman says he's been on 40 dates in 2 years, and she hasn't had 40 dates in her life. More than likely because those guys just take her home, blow her back out, and then send her back out onto the streets, right? So that's number two. Number three, if she's telling the truth and this guy is pushing this hard, right? Saying that he likes her, he showed her to his sisters, things like that. Calm down, my boy, right? This woman is not worth it, right? This woman is for recreational purposes. She's for fun. and then you release her back out into the stock market, right? You release her back out into the field and let her do whatever she wants to do. So I think there's a lot going on here, and I think there's some pieces that maybe she's not talking about. Because you see how when she's telling the story, she talks about how great this guy is, and they all follow the same playbook. How great he is, how attractive he is, he has a great job, but then he's this, right? Or he's a creep, he does this, he showed me to his sisters, he did something. And a couple things could be happening here, right? She's self-sabotaging, right? Which he probably does a lot. 2, this guy was probably attractive to her, right? But maybe she knows he has other options, right? So she maybe feels like she can't secure him. Or he's really not that guy that she thinks he is in her mind, right? Maybe he's really not that Chad Light, right? Maybe he is successful, he has some money, but he's not super duper attractive to her, right? So I think there's a couple things going on here.
Let alone in 2 years. Jesus. So anyway, you know, I tell him I'm not excited. I don't get excited just because I've had so many letdowns. So I contain any and all excitement. And he was kind of irritated by that. So after the second date, then he sends me a message the day after. And he's like, hey, I was reflecting on last night. I think I probably said too much, kind of opened up too much. I'm like, yeah, you think? And I just messaged him back like, hey, I get you being vulnerable, telling me how you feel. I'm just not in that place right now. It just seemed like an emotional dump, and I'm still digesting it, and I just handle things differently.
Bull crap.
And it kind of rubbed him the wrong way, and we were supposed to go out tomorrow night. He texted me today, canceled plans, and I just said, oh, are you going to LA? Because he was going to LA to meet some chick. And he's like, you know, irritated that I thought he was going on that trip, and I just was like, I'm just asking. I don't fucking care. And so he canceled all plans for the weekend. And he's just like, I'll contact you next week. I'm just going to kind of let this simmer. So, yeah, no, I don't think so. I think we're good. I don't think there's a match anymore. I don't know. What would you guys do? I'm like.
Told you he was unattainable, right? He was going to LA with some chick and she knew it, right? The problem with women knowing that guys have other women in their life who are attracted to them, right? Because if he's good for one, he's typically good for some, right? I've heard that before. I have heard guys say that before, and I think it's true. If she knew that he was going on a trip with a young lady or a woman, whoever, now he's like he's creepy, right? So here comes the sign language, right? Shout out to Kevin Samuels, right? The Godfather. Here comes the you know, shaming, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. So now he's too open. Now she's processing things. Now because she feels like, and she knows that she can't get him the way that she wants him, right? Now, look, this woman, I'm sure she's had some work done in her 40s, right? But she might have been attractive in her 20s, 30s, right? She was probably nice looking, right? Sure, she had a lot of suitors. She kept shooting for the top 1%. They kept shooting inside her. And here we are. You're done, ma'am.
I wasn't really, after all that emotional, crazy dump, like, I get it. I love, you know, that he's so into me. But I'm just not at the same level as he is. And he really just didn't seem to like my boundaries. And I have these fucking boundaries for a reason. I've been through a ton of therapy. And I've been single a lot longer. I'm going to have boundaries. I'm not settling. Like, what the fuck? But seriously, dating in your fucking 40s is terrible. Why does it have to be so bad?
Obviously, both the guy and the woman have their fair share of problems. He is some type of desperate Chad who wants a relationship so badly he can't help but spew out his love for this broken down 304. And she has been damaged from past relationships. She can't even fathom committing to any guy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know if I would call the guy a desperate Chad. I think he's playing the field the way that he wants to play it, right? He's telling her things to keep her on his roster, right, which I'm sure is quite long, right, because he's going to LA with this other chick, right? But he wants to make sure when he comes home, he's still got, you know, this face, you know, to look at, right? So, yes, I think he does come off a little desperate, but this guy clearly is not desperate if he has a whole other chick that he's going to LA with, right? And she knows it, he knows it. But what I think you see a lot of times, especially with this woman, I mean, my God, she said boundaries. Get out of here. When women start talking about boundaries, just tune them out, right? Because Chad has no boundaries. The football players that hit it in high school and college had no boundaries. The Chad she met at the bar had no boundaries. Don't let her try to put no boundaries on you. Keep walking, okay? But I think for this woman, what you're seeing is that she's burnt out. She's burnt out from getting blown out, and that's what it is. This is what happens when you're dating in your 40s, ma'am, as a woman, as opposed to this man who probably still has a ton of options. He's divorced and he's probably out there living his best life. Good for him. Salute, my guy.
Because she belongs in a therapy chair. In my personal opinion, this is an example of two screwed up people. This is also a prime example for why men should never talk about their feelings. Women say they want men to be emotionally open and sensitive, but when they are put into the friend zone and told they are too much.
Right.
If he just kept his mouth closed, he could have pumped and dumped and enjoyed the rest of his week.
That was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I can agree with the end of that, right? You know, don't share your feelings with these women. They'll automatically lose respect for you. Don't let them see you cry. Don't do none of it. And I know women are like, why? We want you to, you know, show us your feelings and be open. Don't do it. Don't do it. Be stoic. Be like a brick wall. Don't do it. They don't need to know. Okay? They don't need to know. Man, I mean, he probably still hit it. I mean, I'm sure this guy probably came back from LA after smashing some chick, and I'm sure he probably came back and, you know, smashed Smush Mouth here, right? So I'm sure he was fine. I'm sure he's fine, right? He just needs to, and that he was married. He said that he was divorced 2 years. So that guy don't know how to date, right? He was simping in his marriage. He don't know how to, like, not share his feelings with a woman that he's dating, right? He doesn't know that yet, right? Men who are married and come out here and date in this new modern dating scene, it's like trying to learn to walk again. Like it's not the same, right? It's new territories, it's new things to discover, it's new ways, right? The same way that gentleman probably got his wife, it's probably not the same way that he is going to get these other women. It's not the same. All right. Well, hope it works out for them. Folks, we are going to leave it there. So thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe if you like the content. Drop a like and comment down below if you are so inclined. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, eat well, sleep well, be well. I'll see you guys later.